PI, Preparing Inclusive Educators, is a program improvement grant funded by the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Special Education Programs. PI aims to increase the number of qualified special educators who are prepared to meet the complex needs of students with disabilities by recruiting students to special education programs of study at the College of William & Mary's School of Education. Graduates from the School of Education are prepared to implement evidence-based practices, to be culturally and linguistically competent, and to work in interdisciplinary and collaborative environments.
I started off actually in secondary English. I was going to be a high school English teacher, and in my student teaching experience, I was assigned the lower level English classes, and a fair number of the students that were in those classes had special needs and were identified. And I found that I gravitated to those students. Those were the kids that I enjoyed working with the most. They challenged me the most as a professional, and I got the most gratification working with them. So I decided at that point that I wanted to explore special education and pursue an additional degree in special ed.
Well, I have a younger brother who was diagnosed with moderate mental retardation, and he wasn't diagnosed until he was probably about 5. It sparked my interest. I started out was interested in just education, just teaching, and in going through the process with my guidance counselor, she said, you know, why don't you go into special ed? She said you would be more marketable, you would be more well-rounded as a teacher. You're going to encounter children with special needs at some point, so go into just have that license available for you.
You need to love children, and it needs to be a passion. And if you want to make a difference in the lives of children, this is the career that you want, because it completely changes the child's life, which then changes their siblings' life, which then changes your home and your family life. It just changes their whole world. I did not think that my child would ever go to a public school, but that first year changed her life, changed my life, my whole family. It's been good.
I taught everything from self-contained to resource to inclusion. So that was really exciting that I was able to teach in so many service delivery models, and really I enjoy aspects of each one of the models, and I see benefits to each model depending on student needs.
The general educator is much more broad. With the special educator, you can be much more direct. You really, since there are fewer students, you really know all your students' strengths and weaknesses, and you teach towards it. Special educators, I think, need to be much more creative. They really are, they have a smaller classroom, but their students are generally have very different abilities, very different needs. Just from my personal experience, it's been very positive. I've seen constant communication between the general educator and the special educator.
As a parent, it was extremely overwhelming. I had no clue what I was doing, what all of these IEPs, I didn't know what an IEP was, what it all meant. And the special educators kind of guide you and steer you and help you and answer a lot of questions.
I feel like the special educator is an advocate for the child and is in constant communication with the parents.
Assume that the parents have never been through this process ever in their life, and they're scared to death. They're horrified and terrified that something is wrong with their child.
You know, it was meeting the families where they were at and helping them the way on what's the process, what can you expect, what's going to happen next, what's the timeline, what are your rights, what are your legal rights and protections throughout this process.
You know, just small stuff, but it's that small stuff that builds the trust. So when you do have a big issue, you feel comfortable and you can go to them and explain what can we do about it, how can we work with that, and makes a big difference.
And just being there for them, you know, being there for them to ask questions, to talk to grieve in some cases, and celebrate in other cases, and just help them understand that we're all in it together. We're a team, and we want to make school be a very successful experience for those students. Well, I love it, and I'm passionate about it, but you have to feel that passion, and you have to really want to develop those close relationships with students and their families. It's certainly challenging. It can be a very challenging career, but it's also one of the most rewarding careers.
In the future, I've just realized, like, okay, the students that I enjoy working with the most are the students with special needs. I think they're a little bit of a challenge, which I like, and it's just such a rewarding experience.
If you're going to come into special education, teaching in general, you know, just have a passion for it and love for it, and know that you will have your good and you will have your bad, but overall, it's well worth it.
If you want to make a difference in the lives of children, this is the career that you want.